Ladies and gentlemen, life often presents us with challenges that test our patience, dignity, and emotional strength. Among these, being disrespected can be one of the hardest to endure. The natural instinct is to defend ourselves, to retaliate, or to restore our pride. But today, I want to share a different perspective, a powerful one that teaches us that true strength lies in restraint and control. Understanding the trap of disrespect. When someone disrespects you, it can feel like a direct attack on your dignity, values, or self-worth. Naturally, the first instinct is to react, whether that means defending yourself, snapping back, or proving them wrong. But let's take a closer look at what's actually happening in these moments. Disrespect is rarely just about you. Often, it's a reflection of the other person's state of mind, insecurities, or intentions. Disrespect is in many ways a trap. The person being disrespectful is often trying to provoke you, to elicit a reaction that satisfies some internal need of theirs. Maybe they want to feel powerful, as if they've gotten under your skin. Maybe they're looking for a way to shift focus from their own shortcomings or frustrations. Or perhaps they simply enjoy the chaos they create when they push someone else's buttons. Whatever their motivation, their behavior is designed to get a rise out of you. Now, think about what happens when you take the bait. Let's say someone makes a cutting remark about your work or mocks you in front of others. You feel your chest tighten, your pulse quicken, and words start forming on the tip of your tongue. You fire back, letting them know they've crossed a line. In that moment, it might feel satisfying to stand up for yourself, to win the exchange. But what's really happening is that you've given them control over your emotions and actions. You've played into their hands, validating their behavior by engaging with it. When you react impulsively, the person disrespecting you achieves their goal. They've succeeded in shifting the focus to you, your anger, your defensiveness, your emotional reaction. Instead of maintaining your composure, you've allowed them to drag you down to their level. This isn't a weakness of character, it's a deeply human response. We all want to feel respected, and when that need is threatened, our instinct is to restore balance. But here's the catch. True power doesn't come from reacting. It comes from not reacting. When you stay calm and composed in the face of disrespect, you take away the other person's power. They expect you to lash out, to defend yourself, to give them the satisfaction of seeing you upset. By refusing to engage, you send a clear message. I'm not controlled by your words or actions. I choose my responses. This kind of restraint requires incredible strength. It's not easy to stay quiet when someone has hurt your pride or undermined your efforts. But it's also one of the most effective ways to protect your peace and maintain your dignity. Another thing to consider is that disrespect often says more about the person delivering it than about the person receiving it. Someone who feels secure and content in their own life has no reason to belittle others. On the other hand, someone who's struggling with their own self-esteem or frustrations might resort to disrespect as a way to cope. By not reacting, you create space to see the situation for what it truly is, a reflection of their issues, not yours. Resisting the urge to react doesn't mean you're weak or indifferent. It means you're choosing to stay in control of yourself, to prioritize your long-term peace over a fleeting sense of victory. In the end, the real trap of disrespect isn't just the conflict it creates in the moment. It's the way it can pull you away from the person you aspire to be. By understanding this, you can navigate moments of disrespect with clarity, strength, and grace. Restraint as a form of strength. Restraint is often misunderstood. In a world where being loud, reactive, and confrontational is sometimes seen as being strong, staying quiet in the face of disrespect can be mistaken for weakness. But true strength isn't about shouting the loudest or winning every argument. It's about having control over yourself, your emotions, and your actions. Restraint, in reality, is one of the most powerful forms of strength a person can demonstrate. Think about it. When someone disrespects you, they're trying to provoke you. Their words or actions are designed to elicit a reaction, anger, frustration, or even retaliation. It's tempting to react immediately to defend your honor or put them in their place. But reacting impulsively means letting someone else dictate your behavior. It gives them power over you. On the other hand, choosing not to react requires an incredible amount of inner control. It's a conscious decision to rise above the situation, to refuse to let someone else's negativity disrupt your peace. This level of self-control doesn't come easily. It requires self-discipline, the ability to pause and think before acting. In that pause, you remind yourself that your dignity doesn't depend on proving a point or matching someone's disrespect with more negativity. Restraint allows you to maintain your composure and focus on what truly matters, your integrity and inner peace. Restraint also requires emotional intelligence, the ability to understand and manage your emotions effectively. When someone disrespects you, it's natural to feel hurt, angry, or offended. But emotional intelligence helps you process those feelings without letting them control you. It's about recognizing that while your emotions are valid, they don't have to dictate your actions. This maturity is what sets restraint apart as a true sign of strength. Choosing restraint also means being able to see the bigger picture. In the heat of the moment, it's easy to get caught up in the need to respond, to defend yourself, or to make a point. But when you step back, you realize that not every battle is worth fighting. Sometimes, silence is the most powerful response. It shows that you value your peace more than the fleeting satisfaction of a comeback. It communicates that you are above the petty provocations of others. What's more, restraint can disarm the person being disrespectful. When they don't get the reaction they're looking for, their power over the situation diminishes. They're left to face their own negativity without dragging you into it. This can be both confusing and humbling for them, and it often diffuses the tension. Choosing restraint doesn't mean you're letting people walk all over you. It means you're choosing to respond on your terms, not theirs. You're setting boundaries in a way that protects your energy and maintains your self-respect. It's not about suppressing your feelings, but about channeling them into something constructive rather than destructive. In the end, restraint is a skill that only the truly strong possess. It's easy to react, to let anger take over, or to match disrespect with disrespect. But it takes incredible strength to pause, to think, and to choose a response that aligns with your values and goals. Restraint isn't about staying silent because you're powerless. It's about staying silent because you're powerful enough to know when words aren't necessary. It's about owning your strength in a way that leaves no room for doubt. Emotions versus logic. When we encounter situations that provoke us, our immediate reactions are often fueled by emotions. Anger, frustration, and the sting of a bruised ego can surge within us like a tidal wave demanding an outlet. It's natural. After all, emotions are a fundamental part of being human. But when these emotions take control, they can cloud our judgment, leading us to say or do things we might later regret. Imagine someone cuts you off in traffic, or a colleague makes a snide remark about your work in front of others. In that moment, anger flares up, and your first instinct might be to retaliate, to honk aggressively, to snap back with a biting comment. But have you ever noticed that when the heat of the moment passes, you often find yourself thinking, "I wish I hadn't reacted that way"? That's the trap of emotions. They are powerful but fleeting, and when we let them dictate our actions, we surrender control over ourselves. Acting on pure emotion can feel satisfying in the moment. It gives an illusion of reclaiming power or standing up for oneself. But the satisfaction is often short-lived. Over time, Impulsive reactions can create bigger problems, damaged relationships, missed opportunities for understanding, and even a sense of personal disappointment. When emotions rule, we're reacting without considering the broader impact of our actions. This is where logic comes in. Logic doesn't mean suppressing emotions or pretending they don't exist. Instead, it means pausing, stepping back, and giving yourself a moment to process what you're feeling. It's about creating a small space between the trigger and your response, a space where you can think clearly and act intentionally. Restraint plays a crucial role in this process. When you exercise restraint, you're not ignoring your emotions. You're choosing not to let them drive the car. You're saying to yourself, yes, I feel hurt or angry, but I'm going to take a moment to think about the best way to handle this. In that moment, you reclaim your power, not by shouting or lashing out, but by staying in control of your actions. Responding with logic doesn't mean you're cold or unfeeling. In fact, it shows a deep understanding of your emotions and how they interact with the situation at hand. For example, when someone disrespects you, your anger might tell you that a boundary has been crossed. Logic helps you figure out the best way to address that boundary, whether it's by calmly communicating your feelings or choosing to walk away from the situation entirely. The ability to balance emotions with logic is a sign of maturity and self-awareness. It means you're not a puppet to your feelings, but an active participant in your own life. You're choosing to respond in ways that align with your values and long-term goals, rather than letting fleeting emotions dictate your path. Over time, this approach not only helps you make better decisions, but also fosters a sense of inner peace. You'll find that when you act with intention rather than impulse, you feel more in control, more aligned with your true self. And in a world where emotional reactions often lead to chaos, the ability to pause, think, and respond with logic is a rare and powerful gift. It allows you to navigate challenges with grace, turning even difficult moments into opportunities for growth and understanding. The bigger picture. When someone disrespects you, it's natural to feel a surge of emotions, anger, hurt, or even indignation. These feelings often demand immediate action, like firing back a sharp retort or confronting the person who wronged you. In that moment, reacting may feel like the only way to restore your pride or defend your worth. But here's the thing. Those reactions, while satisfying in the short term, rarely serve your best interests in the long run. They might give your ego a temporary boost, but they often come at the cost of your peace, dignity, or even relationships. In the heat of the moment, it's all too easy to lose sight of the bigger picture. What is the bigger picture, though? It's your values, your long-term goals, and the kind of person you aspire to be. It's about asking yourself, will this reaction help me move closer to the life I want? Will it align with the person I want to become? More often than not, the answer is no. Consider this. Reacting impulsively to disrespect often escalates the situation. It can turn a minor slight into a full-blown argument, damaging not only your mood but also your reputation. People remember how you handle conflict, and a rash reaction might make you appear unstable or overly emotional. On the other hand, when you remain calm and composed, you show strength, maturity, and self-control. This approach not only protects your dignity, but also earns the respect of others. Staying calm doesn't mean you're letting disrespect slide. It means you're choosing to respond in a way that aligns with your long-term goals. Maybe your goal is to maintain a peaceful work environment or to set an example for those around you. Maybe it's about conserving your energy for things that truly matter, like your personal growth, career, or relationships. By staying calm, you avoid wasting time and energy on conflicts that don't contribute to your bigger picture. It's also important to understand that not every battle is worth fighting. Life will always present situations where you're tested by rude comments, unfair treatment, or thoughtless behavior. But reacting to every instance of disrespect can drain you emotionally and distract you from what really matters. When you keep the bigger picture in mind, you learn to pick your battles wisely. You recognize that some situations don't deserve your attention or energy. The bigger picture also involves protecting your inner peace. Disrespect often reflects more about the person delivering it than the one receiving it. By reacting, you allow their negativity to invade your mental space. But when you stay calm, you maintain control over your emotions and keep your focus where it belongs, on yourself and your goals. Staying calm doesn't mean you're weak or indifferent. It means you have the strength to rise above the moment and focus on what truly matters. It's a conscious choice to prioritize your long-term happiness over fleeting emotions. In the grand scheme of things, the ability to stay composed in the face of disrespect is a powerful tool. It helps you maintain your dignity, protect your energy, and keep your eyes on the bigger picture, a life that reflects your values and aspirations. The psychological advantage. When someone disrespects you, their actions often come with an underlying expectation. They want to provoke you. They anticipate an emotional response, anger, frustration, or a defensive reaction that confirms their ability to get under your skin. This expectation fuels their sense of power in the situation. But when you choose not to react, you flip the script entirely. Instead of giving them the response they seek, you present calm, composed silence, which leaves them confused and unsettled. This is the essence of the psychological advantage that comes with restraint. Imagine a scenario where someone makes a cutting remark aimed at you, perhaps in a meeting or social setting. They might smirk, waiting for you to stumble over a heated reply. But instead of snapping back, you simply pause, smile, or let the comment pass without acknowledgement. In that moment, the power dynamic shifts. The person who is trying to control the narrative suddenly finds themselves on unstable ground. They didn't get the satisfaction of seeing you upset or defensive. Instead, they're left wondering why their attempt to provoke you failed. This confusion can be powerful. It forces the other person to question their approach and even their own behavior. They expected to rattle you, to pull you into a confrontation, but now they're left without a clear path forward. This lack of control on their part highlights the strength of your restraint. It shows that you're unshaken by their words or actions, which can be deeply unsettling for someone who thrives on creating conflict. The psychological advantage of not reacting also reinforces your own sense of control. In moments of disrespect, it's easy to feel like the other person has taken something from you, your dignity, your authority, or your peace. But by choosing not to engage, you reclaim that power. You demonstrate that your emotional state is yours to manage, and that no one can dictate how you feel or act. This sense of control isn't just empowering in the moment. It also builds your confidence over time, helping you navigate future challenges with greater ease. From a broader perspective, maintaining your composure in these situations communicates strength and maturity to others around you. Whether it's colleagues, friends, or family, people notice how you handle conflict. When they see you remain calm under pressure, it reinforces their respect for you. It shows that you're someone who doesn't get easily swayed by negativity or drama, a quality that many admire but few possess. Moreover, restraint creates a psychological mirror for the person disrespecting you. When they don't get the reaction they're looking for, they're often forced to confront their own behavior. They may start to question why they acted the way they did, or feel embarrassed by their own lack of composure. In some cases, this can even lead to them reconsidering their approach in the future, especially if they realize that their attempts to provoke you consistently fail. Choosing not to react isn't about ignoring disrespect or pretending it didn't happen. It's about responding on your terms, in a way that serves your peace and dignity. It's about recognizing that your silence or calmness isn't weakness, but a strategic move that keeps you in control. By disarming the person who tried to provoke you, you maintain the upper hand, protect your energy, and reinforce your strength. In the end, the greatest victory is not in engaging in battles, but in rendering them unnecessary. Turning the lens inward. Moments of disrespect can be deeply uncomfortable. They sting, leave us feeling vulnerable, and often ignite a storm of emotions. Our first instinct might be to focus on the external, what the other person said or did, how unfair or hurtful it was. But if we pause and turn the lens inward, these moments can become powerful opportunities for self-discovery and growth. Instead of solely analyzing the actions of the other person, we can ask ourselves a deeper question. Why did this affect me so much? Often, the intensity of our reaction has less to do with the person who disrespected us and more to do with our own internal triggers. These triggers are shaped by unresolved insecurities, past experiences, or deeply ingrained fears. For instance, if someone criticizes your work, the pain may not stem solely from their words, but from a lingering fear that you're not good enough, perhaps a fear rooted in childhood or a previous failure. By reflecting on these feelings, you can uncover the underlying vulnerabilities that need healing. Restraint plays a crucial role in this process. When you refrain from reacting impulsively, you create a space for introspection. Instead of letting your emotions dictate your actions, you give yourself the chance to observe them. This is a moment of growth, a chance to understand yourself better and address the root causes of your pain or anger. For example, if someone makes a disparaging remark about your appearance, the immediate urge might be to lash out or defend yourself. But if you pause and turn inward, you might realize that the comment hurt because you've been critical of your own appearance. The disrespect from the other person merely amplified feelings you already carried within you. Recognizing this allows you to take the focus off the external insult and shift it to internal healing. You can begin to work on self-acceptance and self-love, addressing the insecurity that made the comment so impactful. This inward reflection doesn't mean excusing disrespectful behavior or blaming yourself for someone else's actions. It simply means using the experience as a mirror to better understand your emotional responses. When you dig deeper, you may discover patterns, specific types of comments or situations that consistently provoke strong reactions. These patterns can guide you toward areas of your life that need attention, whether it's building self-confidence, letting go of past wounds, or cultivating greater self-compassion. Turning the lens inward also strengthens your emotional resilience over time. When you understand why certain things affect you, you gain the power to address those triggers and reduce their impact. You become less reactive and more centered, able to approach similar situations in the future with clarity and calmness. This doesn't mean you'll never feel hurt or disrespected again, but it does mean you'll be better equipped to handle those feelings without being overwhelmed by them. Moments of disrespect, while unpleasant, can become some of life's most valuable lessons if approached with the right mindset. They challenge you to look within, confront your insecurities, and grow stronger emotionally. Restraint is the key that unlocks this growth. By choosing not to react impulsively, you allow yourself the time and space to explore the deeper truths behind your emotions. And in doing so, you transform what might have been a painful encounter into an opportunity for self-discovery and empowerment. The ripple effect of composure, remaining composed in moments of tension or disrespect, doesn't just benefit you, it creates a ripple effect that influences the people around you in profound ways. While it might seem like your calm demeanor is a private victory, others are often watching, observing how you handle challenges. Your ability to remain steady under pressure sends a powerful unspoken message. Composure is strength, and emotional control is a trait to be admired and emulated. Imagine a tense moment in a workplace meeting where tempers flare and voices rise. One person remains calm, speaking thoughtfully and refusing to be drawn into the emotional chaos. That person stands out, not because they were the loudest or most aggressive, but because their restraint shows wisdom and confidence. Their demeanor shifts the atmosphere, encouraging others to pause and re-evaluate their own behavior. In that moment, they become an anchor for the group, demonstrating that composure is not only possible, but effective. This is the ripple effect of composure. Your calmness inspires calmness in others. When people see that you don't react impulsively to provocation, they begin to reassess their own reactions. It's like throwing a pebble into a pond. The initial act of composure creates waves that influence the environment around you. Over time, this can cultivate a more respectful and thoughtful atmosphere, whether in your workplace, family, or social circle. But the ripple effect goes beyond the immediate moment. Consistently demonstrating composure builds a reputation that others come to associate with you. They start to see you as someone who doesn't crumble under pressure, someone who can navigate challenges with grace and clarity. This reputation can lead to greater respect and trust. Colleagues may turn to you for guidance in difficult situations. Friends might seek your advice, and family members may look up to you as a pillar of strength. Setting this example is especially important for those who look up to you, whether they are children, mentees, or peers. They see your behavior as a model for how to handle adversity. For instance, a child who watches a parent handle conflict with calmness learns that shouting or anger isn't the only way to resolve disputes. Instead, they see that maturity and self-control are powerful tools for navigating life's challenges. This lesson can stay with them for years, influencing how they handle their own struggles. The ripple effect also strengthens your own sense of identity. When others respect you for your composure, it reinforces your confidence and motivates you to maintain that standard. Over time, composure becomes not just a reaction, but a part of who you are, a habit that aligns with your values and long-term goals. It reminds you that strength isn't about dominating others, it's about mastering yourself. However, it's important to remember that composure isn't about suppressing your feelings or avoiding conflict. It's about choosing how to respond in a way that aligns with your values. It's about demonstrating that you can handle challenges with dignity and grace, even when the situation is difficult. In the end, the ripple effect of composure is transformative. It creates a legacy of strength, maturity, and reliability that benefits not just you, but everyone around you. It's a reminder that our actions, no matter how small, have the power to influence and uplift others. By choosing composure, you set a positive example that encourages others to find strength within themselves, a ripple effect that can leave a lasting impact. Cultivating restraint is one of the most empowering habits you can develop. It allows you to navigate moments of disrespect or tension with grace, protecting your peace while demonstrating emotional intelligence. However, staying calm and composed doesn't come naturally. It requires conscious effort and practice. By adopting practical steps, you can train yourself to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. One of the simplest yet most effective techniques is to pause before reacting. When faced with a provocative comment or action, take a deep breath and count to 10. This pause may seem small, but it's incredibly powerful. It creates a gap between the stimulus and your response, giving you the chance to process your emotions rather than letting them take over. In that brief moment, you shift from being reactive to being intentional. This pause also helps to diffuse the immediate tension, as your calmness can neutralize the heat of the situation. After pausing, take a moment to reflect on your intentions. Ask yourself, what do I hope to achieve by reacting? Often, our initial urge to retaliate is fueled by a desire to defend our ego or prove a point. But when you step back and consider the bigger picture, you might realize that reacting impulsively won't serve your long-term goals. For instance, if your goal is to maintain a professional reputation or preserve a relationship, lashing out in anger will likely work against you. By focusing on your intentions, you can choose a response that aligns with your values and desired outcomes. Another critical step is to detach from your ego. Much of our need to react stems from the belief that our self-worth is tied to how others perceive us. When someone disrespects us, it feels like an attack on our identity, and our ego demands that we fight back. But true strength comes from understanding that your worth is not dependent on someone else's opinion or behavior. Recognize that their actions reflect more about them than about you. By detaching from your ego, you free yourself from the need for external validation, allowing you to respond with clarity rather than defensiveness. Practicing empathy can also transform your perspective. Disrespectful behavior often stems from insecurity, frustration, or personal struggles. While this doesn't excuse their actions, understanding their possible motivations can help you respond with compassion rather than anger. For example, a co-worker snapping at you might be dealing with stress that has nothing to do with you. By seeing the situation through their eyes, you can choose to address it calmly or simply let it go, depending on what feels most appropriate. Finally, always focus on your long-term goals. Ask yourself, is this moment worth my energy? Restraint is about prioritizing what truly matters, your peace, happiness, and growth. Redirecting your focus to these goals helps you see minor provocations for what they are, distractions. Instead of investing your time and emotions in fleeting conflicts, channel that energy into what moves you forward. This mindset shift not only protects your mental well-being, but also reinforces your ability to stay composed. Cultivating restraint is a journey, not a one-time decision. It requires practice, patience, and self-awareness. But with each instance where you pause, reflect, and choose composure, you grow stronger. Over time, these steps become second nature, transforming how you handle challenges and interactions. Restraint doesn't mean suppressing your emotions or avoiding conflict. It means responding with intention and integrity. By implementing these practical steps, you empower yourself to navigate life's provocations with wisdom, protecting your peace and staying aligned with your true self. Conclusion. Restraint in the face of disrespect is not about suppressing your feelings or avoiding confrontation. It's about reclaiming your power, choosing your battles wisely, and acting with intention. In a world where impulsive reactions often lead to regret, the ability to remain calm and composed is a superpower. Remember, silence and self-control speak louder than anger ever could. Thank you.